right. Hopefully this finds everyone doing well tonight. This one's actually really simple, and I'm going to keep this incredibly easy for you guys right now. We're not going to get into the how or the why or anything. I'm going to get you guys so you guys can get the right answer when it comes time for a test. All right, which I know sort of goes against like what I usually do, but in this case, this is the easiest way to go about it. Okay. And I'm going to work number 3 right here, okay? So when we see y and x, I want you guys to remember, what do we do? What can we do when we see y and x and you're told to go graph it? Make a table. That's right, Quentin. Good job. So we're going to go make a table. And in this table, okay, just like normal, we're going to plug in some negative values. Okay, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, we'll get an idea as to what it does here as we go through, though. Excuse me. All right, now when we go plug in those negative values, and I'm going to transfer this over here real fast just so we can do the work. We have y equals 4 times 1 over 2 to the x. All right. X and y, and we're going to plug in some values, -1, -2, 0, 1, 2. All right, we want to be able to see what the graph does, and I'll show you guys sort of what happens here as we move along. All right, now, okay, I'll show you guys what happens here as we move along. So we got -2. Well, let's go plug in 0 first, because that's an easy one to work with. 4 to the 1/2 to the 0. What's anything to the 0 power? 1. Okay? So we got 4 times 1, 4. All right? Well, let's go work the other ones now. -1. 4 when x is -1 equals y, just in case you forgot what we were doing. Okay? All right, so -1, that negative exponent is going to invert whatever we have underneath it. So in this case, it's going to be 4, 2 over 1. Well, what's 4 times 2? 8. Okay. All right, let's do the same thing with -2. And eventually you'll start to catch the drift here as to what's going on. -2. All right, again, the negative flips it. So we got 2 over 1 squared, 4 times 2 times 2. We got 4 times 4, 16. Nope, not 116. 16. Okay. All right. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Horrible coughing. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do our positive side. 4 times 1 over 2 to the 1 power. This is 4 times 1/2. 4 divided by 2, 2. We got 4 to the 1/2 squared. This is 4 times 1/2 times 1/2. 4 over 1 over 4. I end up at 1. Okay? Now, what do we notice about the y values? As we go more negative, what's going to end up happening? Like if I were to plug in, we'll say, I don't know, throw out a random number, -100. What do you think is going to happen? If I were to plug in, let's go to the other side on here. If I were to plug in 10, what do we think is going to happen? Okay? So, and hopefully you guys did the Desmos activity and you sort of got to play around with that a little bit. So let's plug in -100. 4 times 1 over 2 to the -100. So we got 4, 2 over 1 to the 100. Okay, and I don't have my calculator on me right now, but this is going to be 2 to the 100 power, some random exorbitant amount. I'm going to guess and say that we're up in the 100,000 range, somewhere up there, some huge number. Okay, and if we look at what was happening here on the y's, that makes sense. All right, let's plug in 10. 4 4 times 1/2 to the 10. 4 over 1 over 2. And again, this is 1 over 2 and 1 over 2 10 times. So 2 to the 10th power. Do this quick in my head. So we got 8, 8, 6, another 8, and another 2. So 64 times 8, whatever that's going to be. So 4 over, I think it's like 1,064, 1,050. I'm close right here. Okay, but either way, this is going to, notice that we're not going below negative yet. So it's just a super small number, less than 1. So if we were to graph this out here, okay, and let's come back over to our graph, and I'm going to transfer a couple of those values here. So we have 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. The things that they're going to ask for on a given test are going to be, what's the y-intercept? Well, we have that. Okay, x equals 0. And as x approaches negative infinity, so as x goes this way, what is the y value doing? Is it approaching positive infinity, or is it approaching 0? Okay, so those are going to be the things that they ask. But let's go and plug this in here. So we got -2, 16, -1, 8, 0, 4, 1, 2, and 2, 1. And remember our -10 that we plugged in? I mean, we can even plug in 4 real fast. So if I plugged in 4 times 1 over 2 to the 4th. Okay, so this is 2 times 2, 4, 16. 4 over 16, or 1/4. 1/4, okay? All right, so at 4, I'm at 1/4. Notice what this thing is doing as we start to sketch it out. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's the gist of the whole thing. So I want you guys to go work these other questions on this worksheet I'm about to show you guys, and you guys will be good to go. All right, shoot me some questions if you guys have a question. There is a quiz that's live right now. You guys are welcome to take it again. Try to go for the full credit on that, and we'll roll out more of this lesson probably Monday next week. All right, so you guys are set for Thursday and Friday. Bye.